Previously on Anything Goes.
Say the truth.
There was another article that brought up women. It was recently in the New York Times. And it was about Eddie Brill. Did you read that?
No.
Eddie, it basically talked about Eddie Brill, who is the booker for Letterman.
Yes.
And there was recently, I think, a book or a documentary called Dying to Be on Letterman or something. And I guess that's why they interviewed him. But two comics, Anthony Jeselnik and Amy Schumer, both were quoted in the article. And Anthony Jeselnik said, well, he goes to these festivals and he does these seminars and he gets money for them, and that's how he gets the festivals, and he's using the Letterman. So that was his thing. But then Amy Schumer said, and they never have females on Letterman. And then I wish I had the article in front of me because I don't want to misquote Eddie, but it said something like, I wish I could remember the exact quote because it was really good. But
I can't remember the last female that was on Letterman.
There was only one last year.
Carol Leifer, maybe.
But there was only one
school.
last year. But I think it said something as he's like, women have to, these days women have to try and act gross like men in order to get attention. And that was his point.
Well, I think there is
article.
some truth to that. Like in Bridesmaids, for me, the best parts of Bridesmaids are when it's female behavior.
Yeah.
Like that scene when the friend is upping the friend when they're making those speeches about how close they were to the friend.
Hilarious.
That's just a brilliant scene.
Yeah.
And beautifully played by the actresses. Now, I honestly will go out on a limb and I would say that scene where Melissa McCarthy shits into a sink was not written by them. I just don't think, I really don't.
And Kathleen was saying that girls are a lot of
maybe
gross
so.
out of
Like Maya Rudolph shitting in the middle of the street, to me, was the low point of the movie.
It has changed,
I thought
though.
It was ridiculous.
Well, I think that
I don't like it with anyone. If a man did, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I think it was, they tried to make it look like, girls can be gross too, and I think that's what they're trying to do. But
they rewrote it.
Judd
rewrote it
to have a pooping scene.
That's
maybe so
not
the boys
the record.
But why would they why would they do that again? Do you think more guys will come? I hear girls shit in the street, so I want to see that.
Well, Germans maybe. Weird fetish videos. But
there are male comics that used to follow me and another comedian, Christina Wakata, on Twitter, and they stopped following us because we talked about diarrhea and farts on our Twitter feeds, and they were like, "It's gross. I don't want to follow you."
And now, let's get to a new exciting show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for some laughs? Are you?
Don't touch that dial. It was molested and it brings back horrible memories. This is Anything Goes with Darren Frost.
How the fuck am I funny?
Dave Martin.
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
And Kathleen McGee.
And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
Can you dig it?
Just be careful what you believe in, bro.
Yeah, well.
That's the thing. Be careful what you believe in.
Check one. Can you hear me?
No.
I can.
Okay, good. All right, you recording, Dave?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kenny, the world we're living in now, huh?
I love it. Don't get worse. Them Ku Kluckers gonna fuck shit up for the next 6 months.
So obviously there's a lot of ground to cover, but did you think this was gonna happen? Like, were you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember when Trump said, "I got all the tough guys. I got the longshoresmen. I got the bikers. He's been counting on this shit for a long time."
I never thought it would. I never thought they would actually storm and break into the Capitol. I thought
this is even a piss poor job of what I thought they'd do.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'm surprised that they weren't.
Look at the way those cocksuckers were climbing the wall. They didn't learn that by hanging out at Deb's Comedy Den. Them motherfuckers was combat trained, man.
Well, you know what I found very weird is, like, look what they did in Michigan. If that wasn't a blueprint for what could go down, that's where I'm like, some people are so shocked. I'm like, well, in Michigan, they just walked in with guns and nobody really did anything. And,
they took over the Michigan Assembly. They stood outside there. They're going to kidnap the governor and execute her.
Right.
this is nothing new. I mean, that movie Talk Radio where they killed that radio host in Aryan Nation and you know, Timothy McVeigh, all these cocksuckers been quiet, and now they've had Trump for 4 years.
Right.
And now what's happening, man?
Well, I mean, I know we talked a couple days ago, and it's a pretty famous picture of the Capitol when Black Lives Matter was marching. You know, it was like rows and rows of military, almost police officers in full riot gear, just sitting there waiting for something to go down. And that was for just, you know, a march, a protest, not an actual march onto the Capitol like that was going to be.
Yeah. And, I mean, you know, we believe that there's even talk that Trump even had the, you know, or Trump's people delayed the National Guard being sent in from neighboring states.
Right. Yes, I did hear that. Yeah, there was that. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not, but I know that, I guess, he didn't really do anything for hours. Like, he really kind of waited. Even for a response to it, he didn't say anything.
You know who's one of the people had to tell him to go do something? That fucking, what's that skinny meth head looking bitch that was his spokesperson for so long?
Oh, Kellyanne Conway?
Yeah. Kellyanne Conway had to say, Mr. President, you need to tell them motherfuckers to stop.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So when that bitch got to come and be a breath of sanity in someone's ear, you know it's all done.
Well, apparently he was just watching TV. He was watching, and I guess
he was watching it all unfold.
Well, one of the White House aides said that if the president's watching something on TiVo or if he has something PVR'd, he'll pause it and then take a phone call.
Yeah, but he was watching it, and he was
TV.
Surprised that the rest of the people with him weren't going all crazy like he did.
Right, and I guess you need the president's permission to call in the National Guard, and I guess he was unavailable because he was watching TV and didn't want to be disturbed.
Right.
Because D.C. is not a state, so they don't have their own National Guard. It had to be one from any of the neighboring states.
I just love how they start blaming Antifa, like they don't want to, like
they blame Antifa for everything.
They were so proud of storming the Capitol, and then they start wanting to give credit to other people. It seems like,
well, that's their playbook.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's a very obvious playbook, but you're sort of like, you know, you did this, stand up for it, and fucking take some credit, you know? But again...
Well, no, the credit stopped when they started pulling cocksuckers off of planes and saying they're on the no-fly list and arresting them because with your phone, they're able to see by, you know, whose cell phones were inside the Congress.
Right. Yeah, so that came out like 2 or 3 days later about the app Parler. One thing that they did was they took up to 70 gigs of metadata from the Parler app so they could find out exactly where all those people who had that app on the phone, exactly where they were, and they're going to cross-reference that, and that's when they're going to start making arrests based on that information.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's like, you know, not only forever a time to believe in wearing masks, it's when you storm somewhere. That's strike number one.
Yeah, at least Antifa wears masks.
Right. Strike number 2 is you don't walk into somewhere with a fucking walking GPS signal on
No
you.
more selfies when overthrowing the government.
That was going to be number 3. Don't take selfies or broadcast images of you inside the fucking place you're breaking into without a mask on. Like, it's just like so the level of stupidity of some of these people. But then you're like, is that his base? It can't be his base because his base is 80 million people. I know everyone loves to say there's a lot of dumb people in America, but it can't be 80 million dumb people.
Yeah, 71 million voted for him.
Well,
I don't know. I always just remember whenever we used to vandalize shit in high school, and at no point did anyone ever say, "Hey, let's take some pictures of us doing this."
Right.
Y'all
like,
didn't
we all
have...
knew that we were doing something wrong. It's just sort of like nobody ever wanted to document the guy that smashed in the windows of the library with the skateboard.
You guys didn't have clickbait then. That's why.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And people didn't become famous.
We're the same. Look at how many terrible things I can say. How many likes did it get?
Yeah.
Right.
We're a generation of idiots.
Well, and also everybody always thinks that everyone who follows them on social media supports them, when a lot of people that follow Donald Trump and a lot of right-wing people are just watching the shit show. And
I followed him, but I don't think I paid much attention to it.
No. But I mean, he sees that one follower as a supporter. He doesn't think anyone's against him, which is another.
Well, it's the old idea of keep your enemies close, right? Like if I had any kind of vested interest in American politics, I would follow him too. I just in the last couple of years, I've really kind of let it go and not really followed that much, so I don't follow it. But if I get it if you do.
No, but his mindset is.
I know what you're saying, but I also understand the idea of still not. You could hate Trump, but still follow him because you want to know what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I get that too. I get that too.
I think it's so sad they censored him.
Now, do you think he deserves to lose Twitter?
Yes. I get banned for 30 days for something. So who's this son of a bitch not to get his account taken away? That's not. It's a private business. It's not a right.
Right. Yeah.
I
nobody has the right to social media. Nobody. Has there's so much that's just a privilege. I mean, you should...
poor Leon Trotsky, what he could have done if he had Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, it's like them getting taken off of Facebook and something like that. I mean, I understand when a company becomes so big, they're beyond just a private company. Like,
you got to blame the Republicans for that because they're the ones under them that they said corporations have human rights.
Right.
So, they say it's communism, but it's the best case of capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it like Facebook's someone's house and they're just going like, hey, you're kicked out of the house now. And it's like it's a party and you just don't get to be invited anymore. So
that's it.
Yeah.
But there is an argument to be made that Twitter now is so big. It is, taking it.
Is that Twitter's fault?
Well, these aren't good companies. Let's just start by saying that. Like Facebook and Twitter
there's no corporate citizenship awards for these guys.
I think should he lose his Twitter account? I don't know. I'm not 100% yes. I think that he definitely should. Any tweet that he makes. If it goes through, it's got to be verified. If it can't be verified, it should not be sent through. That I agree with.
Sat there all day long making tweets, So the thing is, it doesn't take away his freedom of speech. If he wanted to have a press conference, he could have it. Notice how he had time to stop in front of the helicopter on the way down to Alamo, Texas. Not the Alamo, but Alamo, Texas. So he had time to say that everybody that he read said that his comments were appropriate and yada, and just totally give a different breakdown of what everybody said and thought about his conduct on the previous 4 or 5 days when he had been seen.
Right.
So he hasn't had his freedom of speech taken.
Yeah. I just think if he had enough confidence in himself, I mean, you want to be attached to a popular platform, but I mean, can't he just start a blog that is just like Twitter, basically? He can just add to it.
Well, who's going to run it?
Well, I mean, how hard is it to set up a website these days, anyways? Really?
But who will host it?
He's trying to do that with his son. His son tried to do that, pointing everyone in the direction of that website. But there's also this idea that Twitter now, and so this is also a controversy, that Twitter is not letting Biden have the followers of the POTUS account, which they had no problem giving to Trump when Obama gave it to him. When it's been customary to pass on these
Remember when comics fixed it so you didn't get free meals anymore?
Right.
Well, Trump had too much Chinese food and ordered too many things off the menu.
Right.
And as a result, the following week, the comics are not allowed to order off the menu anymore.
He wanted to take all the steaks home the first night. Yeah.
Right.
He took all the tweets home in a garbage bag and saved it for poker.
And ate them all in one night, tried not to shit himself on stage. I know.
Well, hopefully Trump shits himself on Air Force One on the way to his last day of being president.
Right. Now, he's going to be impeached. It's official. They impeached him today.
Yeah, now they have to vote on him being the actual impeachment, the actual removal.
Yes.
So it's like being nominated.
He did break history today, being the only president in U.S. history to be impeached twice.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like if O.J. Simpson killed somebody else. He'd be the only Heisman Trophy Award winner to be charged with murder twice.
Yeah.
But they haven't convicted him ever.
No.
He never was removed from office.
But do you think it's important that they do impeach him now?
Sure. Because first of all, it means he can't run for office ever again.
Right.
He can't
That's
run for
big thing.
So you've neutered him politically.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean his 71 million knucklehead followers are going to go anywhere.
Well, I think in 10 years you're going to see Eric Trump Eric or Don Jr. or most likely Ivanka will run for president.
I'd like to see all three of them getting out of jail in 10 years is what I'd like to see.
Right.
But I mean, no, none of them. Plus, you take away his Secret Service bodyguards.
Oh yeah.
Also, he doesn't get he don't get no free health care. That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Also, you take away his pension. So,
most importantly, you take away his protection to not be imprisoned. Period. While he's the president, no one can actually put anything on him. But the second he's done, the wolves are going to come for him, and that's part of the reason why he's fighting as hard as he is.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I also understand that, like, after what happened on Wednesday with the storming of the Capitol, I can see a lot of politicians just thinking to themselves, you know, let's just let him have his last couple of days because they don't know what sort of time bomb's going to go off if they did impeach him.
Well, the FBI has already said,
let's defuse the time bomb so we can't do nothing left in that last week.
Right. Because the FBI has said all 50 state capitals, there's plans of attack on all 50 of them.
They're going to be good, Mo.
Well, if they actually tried to do that, would that not just be civil war at that point?
That's what some people are hoping for.
Right.
Well, all these right-wing militia groups, that's what all the ones that refer to the government as ZOG, Zionist-owned government or organized government, they're all hoping for this shit to hit the fan.
Right.
Wow.
This is not a situation for calm thinkers, or they talk about healing and unity.
But where does it go? But where does it go? Like, okay, so they attack all 50 state capitals, right?
But you're not. I don't mean to interrupt. You're never going to outarm the army. Like, they have all. If you think you got guns, they've got more guns.
Of course, but my point is, let's assume they get in to all 50. Okay, let's assume they even get there and they organize that, which on its own is a huge undertaking. Where do they think they're going to go after that? I don't understand.
It's the first shot fired of a civil war. So then they're going to do guerrilla warfare on banks and soft targets, and then they're going to have their compounds raided by military people for the guys who swore an oath to defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic.
Right.
So, it'll be a run and gun shoot 'em up for a while, man.
It'll all be on TV too, which
well, yay! But you know what? Anderson Cooper's got a price on his head. You know they're going to try and take out Donald Lemon. All those people on CNN, they're all targets. For all I know, ta-da! Over whatever I've posted. Who knows what these people have targeted?
Right.
But I mean, you're not like the guy that carried the Confederate flag into the Senate from Calgary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he belongs to some bike gang there or something, and he's from Calgary.
Why am I slightly proud of that? I don't know why.
Because Canadians want to claim anything we can to fake.
I don't know who had the old joke of, like, even if Hitler was born in Canada, it'd be like, Hitler's Canadian, born in Montreal.
Or like we've got more Proud Boys per capita. Canadians suck that per capita titty like it's the sweetest titty that ever shot out anything. Per capita. We're the most per capita bunch of you'll ever hear of. But he's from Calgary. All 5'6" of them.
And Gavin McGuinness, who started the Proud Boys, is from Montreal, and he's Canadian as well. So
yes.
Yeah, we got a lot of strong ties.
And they also think that the assault on the Capitol is going to turn into a big super spreader of COVID.
Let's hope.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, that'll be, well, they're taking it home to spread it amongst themselves.
Well, no. I mean, already one of the congresswomen that was there caught it.
Yeah.
I mean, already they're showing, people are coming from it for not wearing it.
Right.
Because they had to take off their mask to be ready to put on their escape mask, which was tear gas. So you couldn't breathe with that underneath it. But that's why I watched The View. They got some interesting guests with Joy and Whoopi and Megan and Sonny. When they get them women know their shit. Well,
I've tuned in a couple of times, and I think it's best that all the women are separated because Joy Behar looks like she's about to have her claws come out and tear out like Meghan McCain's eyes every once in a while.
Joy Behar is Martha Chavez if Martha didn't have a Spanish accent.
Hello, this is Bobcat Goldthwait. I'm not dead, and you're listening to Anything Goes with Darren, Dave, Kathleen on XM Radio's Laugh Attack.
One thing I'm glad at is I've gotten a lot better at clicking off ads that I receive on Facebook. And I recently asked not to receive any more ads from Cameo because
oh fuck,
you both know what Cameo is, right?
No, Kenny probably doesn't.
Okay, do you want to explain what Cameo
is? So if for any amount of money you can get a celebrity to say whatever you want. So you go to a website, it's a Cameo website, and if you want Billy Ray Cyrus to go, "Hey Darren, happy 50th birthday, man! I hope you have a great one." You got to pay him $300 for him to do that. And
really?
Do it. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Some people are $30. Some people are $200.
Right. So
oh man, I need to hook that up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that both of you aren't on Cameo already. But you know what? The first person when Cameo would be on my Facebook thing, I'm like, "Hey, check out Cameo."
Right.
I get Sharon Stone to say, "Ladies, Kenny Robinson got that good dick." That's what I think.
Well, it's their discretion, but did you? Yeah. I mean, but so the first two people that would pop up on Cameo when the ad would be Shanty, and then the second person besides Shanty was Jim Norton. So I don't know what the connection was between those two, but yeah, it was always Shanty.
Oh, I do,
which I never wanted to. I don't need to see again.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Well, I heard.
Is Shanty really on there?
Yes.
Yeah, Shanty is.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how many people are offering or giving her money.
God bless Shanty. Shanty says there is life after comedy.
Well, I think she was on that before while she was on comedy, but then it was always Shanty, Jim Norton, and then I don't know who else. But I got rid of that ad. But it's amazing. Like you can get for $200, you can get Snoop Dogg to wish you a happy birthday.
Yeah.
And
some people have gotten caught because they don't even realize. Like, there's been like some people who like read white supremacy stuff, and paid. Oh yeah, sure, I'll just read anything. I don't know what this organization is, and they've gotten caught.
I should pay my kid to wish me Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
There's a football player that read some anti-Semitic stuff.
Yes.
On Cameo, but I mean, some people really clean up. It's like, Norm Macdonald's on it, Gilbert's on it. Doesn't seem to be. I mean, you'd have to try pretty hard to find something.
I know Louis Farrakhan isn't on there.
Probably, maybe. You don't know.
If you club owners were to pay Kenny what he was worth, you would not have to fear what is coming.
Yeah.
Bam.
But yeah, I mean, I see, Sean Cohen's on Cameo. Other people have actually private messaged me and asked if I was on it for the last 6 months. I just said no. I'm not.
Why would you not do that?
Because I personally think it's weird, and I don't think there's enough demand for it.
There ain't no demand for me.
Yeah, if there's like 2 or 3 people in 6 months, I mean, what's the real demand there?
Well,
it's different if you're a bigger celebrity.
You could throw your profile up and I don't know how much it costs. I don't even know if it costs anything for you to join.
Right.
But
I got paid $9.
How much would you charge to give a message?
I would probably charge $20.
Oh, come on. 20?
Maybe 21.
Oh, I don't know.
$7.
It just doesn't
eat wings at Bubba's.
It's just weird. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just me personally. It's weird. It doesn't really fit what I do. And I will tell you this: like 15 years ago, I would have been all over it because I was, raging and I'm the angry guy and I can call your boss and tell him to go fuck himself. I would have done all that shit.
Right.
Now I just don't care as much. So it probably just isn't a good fit. But yeah, 15 years ago, I would have been all over it.
Well, I mean, there is a desperation, a sense
15 years ago, you would have been on stage and you wouldn't have needed their fucking $9.
Exactly.
But that guy from, who's the big bald fat guy from The Office? I mean, apparently he's like made like $1 million on them.
Yeah. Westcott Man.
No, not that big bald fat guy.
No, but
those checks didn't bounce.
But them titties did.
I know, writing that gig on writing for a naked women's wrestling federation is still on my resume. So
yeah, Dave worked with Westcott on that naked women's wrestling thing.
Well, he was one of the producers of that comedy thing that we taped at Yuck's that time. With the nude waitresses.
Oh, Mondo Taboo.
Yeah. You were on there, glue guy.
Yeah, I got banned from it. My segment didn't even get onto the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, and I actually remember in the underground that was sort of a Jim Slowtek put something on the news, and I remember you, Kenny, coming up to me after you found out that I got banned from it, and you said to me, getting banned from that one was one of the best things that could ever happen to me, and none of the comics really wanted to be on that piece of shit. Mm-hmm. But I don't even know if that footage is out there anymore. I don't know.
Oh, you know it is.
Oh, I put my clip on YouTube. It's horrible.
Yeah, you did though. But
yeah,
I guess I should really look for my glue guy clip. But
yeah, it's terrible. It's so bad. It's soul destroying. And that's why I put it out there.
I remember doing it thinking that it was actually going to make a difference.
Well,
I think every show's going to make a difference till after I say thank you and good night. So,
well, but Darren, so that's soul destroying, but yet you still wouldn't go on Cameo. I mean,
yeah, because I did that 25 years ago. I mean, I keep it out there to show I'm a narcissist. I hate myself, so I'm going to show people how I used to be in the funny pant Darren. This is funny pants, and the crazy.
Did you do any of the joke machine voices?
No. That was something different. But, you're asking me today, would I do something? That's different than 25. I already said 15 years ago I would have done it, but not today. But, Mondo Taboo, and then, of course, Westcott got in with the Jacksons, right? And then did all that stuff with the Jacksons.
Westcott did?
Yeah. He was
what did he do?
This weird stuff of buying some merch or some memorabilia that he probably shouldn't have had, and he got in with the mother and the family was all upset. It's all some weird fucking stuff. If you put his name in Google, it all pops up.
Oh man, I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Big Daddy Taz. You're listening to Anything Goes on Sirius XM. I was going to say FM, but they hit me last time, so that's it. I'm
XM
radio. What else am I supposed to say? Am I getting paid for this? Well, screw it.
You have a bottle of water.
Yeah. You're one of the few comics that actually went out west from the east and did some shows right near, was it only a month and a half ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah, it was great.
Just kind of sneaked in.
Well, yeah, I mean, I booked it a couple of months and things had already basically shut down here.
Right.
So I was able to squeeze those last 3 weeks in, and then as closer I came to leaving, to coming back home, the numbers started to climb higher to everywhere I've been, eh?
Right.
So I was one step ahead of the COVID, so to speak.
But you said something very interesting to me on the phone, that you said that Vancouver was less than Alberta,
Edmonton, they wore more masks. I got to Vancouver, and mask wearing was up in the air. It was like, if you wanna, okay, but if you know, and there were like all these cats that came up, you know, during the war in Vietnam that didn't believe they need masks because they were wizards, and you had that total West Coast thing with the long white hair and shoulders, and they didn't wear masks, and then they strip clubs still open.
Oh, God bless. God bless.
Yes. And then somebody said, well, it is social distancing. And I said, well, no. I said, you know, if a girl working a pole have a pussy fart, she'll take out a whole bike gang chapter that's sitting up there in Gynecology Row.
Yeah.
So just
think of the bikers. Think of the bikers, yeah.
One big vaginal slurp and a whole chapter's gone, man.
Yeah.
All strippers matter. I'll say that.
You know, but they had, you know, so the strip clubs were still happening, which, you know, back here, you know, you couldn't, like I was saying, you know, I said to my kids a couple of months ago, man, I wish we could just go somewhere we could sit down and eat inside. And I said, my girl, I said, you know, you think we'll ever see a movie again? Think we'll ever eat inside a restaurant again? Mm-hmm. Oh, and I start feeling like Merle Haggard. Are the good times really over for good?
I mean, it's all supposed to be a temporary measure, but at the same time, I was listening to another show where they said, "Well, when has a government temporary measure ever been temporary?"
Right.
You know, so
HST was only supposed to be temporary.
Yeah.
I remember back in February when this all started, and I was talking to people, and I said, it's going to be a long time. And they're like, no, it's not. Once the summer comes, I'm like, okay, all right. I don't want to be right, but, you know, I never thought it would go this long. But at the same time, I knew it was going to go into winter, but I didn't think the lockdown would be as severe as it is.
Why wouldn't it? You still got people not wearing masks. You still got people not staying in. You still got assholes 3 feet away, or, you know, when you go to Costco and you go to the meat, you go to each one of those meat bins, you got 9 motherfuckers trying to grab a pack of wings.
Well, you know, I expected people to play better, you know, like put the mask on and respect the orders.
No,
but I was at Costco.
More soup from the Safeway when it was on sale. Why would you think that we would behave better?
Well, you know, I was at Costco and a guy put his arm on my shoulder, like his hand on my shoulder to move me out of the way. And I'm like, motherfucker, unless your arms are 8 feet, don't fucking touch me. You know, like.
It is funny. I mean,
the old Darren would have gnawed that arm off.
Oh, I would have fucking freaked out. But I was with my wife, and she's like, just let it go. And I'm like, all right, fine.
See, your wife may never see you take someone's eye out. I think you should have done it in front of her.
I know.
And go, this is the real man that you sleep with, woman.
Yeah.
This is Chuck Byrne, and you're listening to Anything Goes with Darren Frost on XM.
So Kenny, you released this the 25th anniversary CD, right?
Yeah.
And is it being played on XM now?
Apparently so.
Okay.
You know, there was some complications with registering it with Sound Exchange. Hopefully we got that all wrapped up now. But yeah, I believe it's been getting some spins and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we definitely have had some nice promo pieces over it.
Right.
So, but I'm slow to catch on to all this CD baby plugging it and you know where do we I'm slow to pushing it and getting it all the punch that it should have though, eh?
But for those who don't know, it's the Nubian Disciples of Pryor. It's a show that's once a month down in Toronto at the Yuk Yuks.
Back in the day.
It's been going for 25 years. And in celebration of that, you put an album together with kind of like the next. Well, there is some old guard comics on there. I hate to say that term, but you know what I mean.
25 cuts. I call it the next 25.
Right. So there's a lot of young blood on there, and some real veterans like John Paul and others.
Mark
Trinidad, right? But the great thing is that the young comics are represented on it because in reality, that's kind of the future. Especially post-pandemic, I think a lot of veterans are going to have trouble because the new kind of world order, when things kind of get back. What do you think the world's going to be like for those young comics?
Well, some of them out there doing shows in basements and garages and attics and parks and rehab centers. So, some of them are doing as many shows on Zoom as they can, where they perform in front of no live audience, and they will be strong, because many of them have performed at these open mics with no live audiences for the last 10 years. So the only difference is they had to leave home. They could smoke a joint, be drunk, and be unprofessional, and then go on the screen and still do their little comedy sketches.
But there is some talk of so it's great that people can do Zoom shows, but the reality is once the world kind of restarts, even if it takes to 2022, you're now going to have to perform in front of live audiences.
Except for live audiences, maybe hesitant to return.
Right.
It's going to be a long time for people are ready to, and how long before, to play it safe, that you'll have a crowd of 200 or 300 people again that you can perform in front of. Right now, we'd be lucky and grateful to be able to say we can get 25 or 50 into a room again.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny is it's like I was supposed to go to Ottawa this coming weekend to do the Absolute Club there, and of course those shows are canceled. But I was thinking it's just funny with artists that, like, if I got a call from them and then they were just like, hey, times are tough, we can't pay you, but you can stay in the condo for free and we'll feed you and you can have drinks, I might even go just to do shows.
Nah, not me. I got food and drinks at home.
Okay, I'm just saying that, like, I'm in a position where I can do that.
Yeah, but that's the problem. You can do whatever you want, but they're going to take advantage of this situation.
Only if comics let them.
I've had this conversation twice in the last 48 hours with veteran comics, and I think that you're never going to see what we were paid 3 years ago as a headliner. Those days are done. Those kind of even 4-show weekends at the top rate, that money is gone. And they're going to use this pandemic. Even when things start to restart again and they start getting audiences, they're all going to be like, well, we're still paying for those 2 or 3 years where we didn't. And they're going to use that. It's going to be, I think, 10 years before the world kind of entertainment resets itself back to you might make some money through the supposed club system. I don't think it's going to fall back into place because it's exactly what you said, Dave. People are going to be like, I'll go do it for free, or, okay, $50 a show, fine. But we'll never get back to being a somewhat unknown comic with some talent making $200 or $300 a show. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do it just if I was knowingly fucking someone over or something like that. I'm just saying, I would like to do shows.
You are, though. You are by doing it for free.
Well, I was just saying that, like, I was just saying, like, open mics, but I mean,
no reason. Well, I don't even go.
Okay, well, I won't do it now. I'm convinced.
Before the pandemic, you couldn't get me into a club to do a spot unless there was some money for me, or even a little package of weed or something that I had to be compensated.
Right.
So, after this, I sure as hell ain't going anywhere.
No, the way I've always rolled,
man, this is how I make my bread.
The way I've always rolled is you look at what the audience is, you know how much they're all paying. Where the fuck is that money going? I've done lots of shows for free, because I know that people aren't making money or they're trying to build something. But, when you go in somewhere and you know that there's like even 60 people there all paying $20, that's $1,200, and you're asking me to do it for free? No, I can't roll like that. It killed me before. The pandemic and recession and all that was killing comedy, and I can't move forward on it. But that's fine. Maybe I won't move forward. Who knows?
But I mean, how many free spots did you do? Like how many free 7-minute spots did you do? Like at the downtown club, or just?
But that was different. That was working on material. I still would do that. That's different.
I'm just
being billed as a coming and seeing Darren Frost talk for 45 minutes. You got to pay me, or I'm not coming out.
Sure, yeah, of course. I'm just saying. I mean. I did.
I'll cough on the first son of a bitch asked me to do it for bad money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got stories, Kenny. I mean, you've called me and said, because of our Rank and File show, that one guy offered us, what, $50 each?
Yeah.
And then that was supposed to be like, hey, I'm giving you guys each $50. Like, people, unless you tell them what you're worth, they're never going to go and give you the right amount.
Right.
I usually don't even respond to those things. Well, they're not coming in anymore, but when they did.
I was going through some old bookshelves, and I recently just found these. The old, remember the CDs that Breslin put out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny's on one, and so am I.
Yeah, both of you guys are on this one.
Yeah.
The first one, not the sloppy seconds like this one.
Right.
Which was called Road Warriors, but then it had a bunch of local Toronto comics on it that never really hit the road. But
It was kind of weird because I was on the one called The Future, and at that point I'd already been in 25 years. I didn't really consider myself part of the future of comedy.
Which one was I on?
Old Fucks. I think it was called Old Fucks.
Niggas that never read a contract.
You were number one on the disc The Future. It goes Kenny Robinson, Russell Peters, Sean Majunder, Darren's favorite, Ron Jostle, Shannon Laverty, Martha Chavez, Judy Kroon, Tracy McDonald, Carla Collins, Elvira Kurt, and Trevor Boris.
None of those are The Future.
I know that.
Could have been if we ran away.
Not slagging any of them, but they're all veterans at that point. Most of them are at least 20 years in.
Well, the future that someone may hear of.
Yeah. I mean, I get what Mark was trying to do there, but yeah, it is a little weird if you're a comedy fan or, but at the same time, he's just trying to shine a light onto comedy and, whatever.
Well, it's not just
because people in the United States never heard of any of those names.
Right.
Or it's when Just for Laughs has their New Faces show, and it's guys that have been doing it for 15 years. So
yeah.
They're just a new face to us.
All right. Well, anything else we want to talk to Kenny about?
Have you made any booty calls since we've been? I don't even know what Kenny's status is in that department.
I got a woman living with me these days.
Okay, so
and when she go to sleep, I sneak out, put my mask on, and then I sneak out and I make the midnight ride to Paul Revere around the street. Mm-hmm. No, I think my booty call days are long gone. You can't be grandpa age. Well, I mean.
Yeah, unless she's coming with a pizza, I don't really have that much interest either. What time is it? I'm exhausted.
Yeah, but after you see Nana in her Depends, you ain't really, you lose the desire to go anywhere.
Yeah, you lose that love and feeling. I hear that.
After you see them Depends, and then they brag they're clean. Like that was that special effort they made. Put on a clean adult diaper. Then you're just better off staying at home and watching CNN.
Yeah, or using your flashlight or your eye stroke.
I got 3 or 4 of them in a box here that I gave a bunch away when I went to Winnipeg for Christmas. I had an anal one, an oral one, and a vaginal one. I gave my friend Patty Doyle the vaginal one because he calls everybody a cunt. So I gave him that. Then I gave my friend Lily the anal one because there was a guy that used to always laugh saying, if you were in jail, I will fuck you in the ass. So he always thought that was funny. So I gave him the anal one. And then a friend of mine, he died, but his wife, guys were always like, trying to hit on her or stalking her. So I gave her the oral one, the mouth, so that way next time she's in a bar and some guy starts coming on to her, just say, this is all you really want, right, motherfucker? And just give him the mouth. So, but I had fun going through airport security with those.
Yeah, well.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
And then a supervisor asked me what they were. And I said, well, they're pocket pussies, man. That's what you like to see it? I said, you've already stopped me.
Right this way, sir. Right this way.
Making her workplace an uncomfortable environment, so I tried to stop.
Yeah. Well, I like that you passed it on and made the circle jerk be unbroken.